In our first story, 200 military personnel have been deployed to flush out illegal miners destroying water bodies in the country. The Ghana Armed Forces took this decision based on a directive given it by the president. A release by the Ministry of Information said the operations commenced today on the River Pra in the central and western regions. According to the statement, the directive is based on the suggestions the government received during the stakeholder dialogue on small-scale mining, which took place a few weeks ago. Joining us via Zoom is Ken Ashigbe. He's with a coalition of media against illegal mining. Mr. Ashigbe, thanks for joining us this afternoon. What do you make of this new move by the military, of course, on the president's directive?
Thank you very much. Chief, you know me, I don't know what I did to earn Mr., so I cannot be a Mr. The Engineering Council law has come, so my title that I have earned is I wear that as a badge, and especially for you. You also should wear the engineer's title as a badge. Yes.
Yes, engineer, go ahead.
What do I make of it? I think that for me, if this is something we should not have picked from the consultative dialogue. This is something that for me, I think was one of the errors we made in pulling back Operation Vanguard. Because the police do not have the capacity to police our waters. They don't just have the marine police, do not have the capacity. The kind of waters that we're talking about, you definitely need a combination of the Navy, you need a combination of the Air Force to fly over the waters, and definitely the military. Because in Ghana, mining close to even river bodies is illegal. So there's no conversation with anybody who is on the water bodies. That is a strictly law enforcement issue. You need to do the law enforcement and then you can deal with the socio-economic issues. But anybody who is on the water bodies is engaged in an illegality. So well, for me, I think it's better late than never. But this was one of the errors we made in the past. And it's good that the military have been set in there. The only thing that I would ask, learning from what happened in the past, is that how are we policing what the military are doing so that, if there are any issues of anybody being involved in anything untoward in terms of any bribery and corruption, there is better supervision of it. How are we ensuring that the military are also not overstepping their bounds so that if people are doing what is right, they don't fall victim to anything, but those who are doing wrong definitely have to be punished. How are we going to ensure that there is some level of transparency with what the military are doing? Because we should bear in mind that in this particular case, what the military are doing is not a purely military thing. They are coming in to deal with civilians. So it's important that information will flow. There's a lot of transparency. So we see what it is that they're doing so that it also serves as a deterrent. How there should be some collaboration with, say, you, the media, so that there can be independent reportage of what is happening in there. And so that it would serve as a galvanizing force for everybody so that we all work together to ensure the turbidity of water that we are hearing that is now gone above the 3,000s again, we can bring it down and can take ourselves from the brink that we currently are on.
Right. Hold on just a moment for me, engineer. Let me bring in Michael Pepra on the conversation. He's president of Concerned Small-Scale Miners Association. If you are with us, Michael, tell us what you think about this new move by the president.
First of all, let me extend my greetings to your cherished viewers. I think sometimes we make mistakes as a nation, and then we come back to blame other people. Using the military approach, we all know, has not yielded the results. And in so doing, we can't do the same thing every day and expect different results. So I don't see this approach as something that will bring the needed results we are expecting.
Interesting. So Ken, here we have Michael on the other side telling us that this approach of bringing in the military may not even be effective because, quite frankly, it does not produce any results. You, on the other hand, were earlier calling for a more coordinated cross-force, multi-sectoral approach within the military itself. What do you make of Michael's comments?
Well, I think that we need to be clear what exactly the military are supposed to do. If I saw the statement, if I was right about the statement, the military have been brought in to police the water bodies, if that's correct. And then also definitely the military move is just one of the various things that are going to be done so far as this particular move to sanitize our mining is concerned. It is very important to state that anybody who is mining on any water body as we speak today is engaged in an illegality. And in any situation, if you want to deal with anything that is wrong, law enforcement would have to come in. So I would disagree with him that if the military are coming in to ensure that there are no chamfants on the water bodies, nobody is mining within the buffer areas that have been set by government, I would disagree with him that that is wrong. That is right. The only thing that we need to do is that we definitely need to have a multi-sectoral approach to making sure that we can come back to the point where there is sustainable, legal mining. And so you see, I've heard the government talk about the fact that they had given a 7-day notice to stop all prospecting within forest reserve. So that's one of the things that is being done. We've had the consultation that have taken place. There are other things that would have to go with this. Bear in mind that even at some point, the Small Scale Mining Association themselves had a team that did a yeoman's job in making sure that they were clearing those who were mining on water bodies. So I think, so far as I'm concerned, it is non-negotiable that when it comes to those who are mining on water bodies, and we should be clear about that, there should be no conversation about that. They should stop. Right. They should be taken out of that so that we can have conversations about how do we ensure that small-scale mining can happen in a sustainable manner, that the Ghanaian can mine and then be able to reclaim the land and be able to process and be able to benefit out of the gold that is in the soil. But I completely disagree with him when it comes to the fact that we need to deal with those who are on the water bodies who are engaged in this illegality.
So the points that Ken is making, Mike, is captured in this first paragraph of the statement, which I'll read to you now. It says that the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has authorized the Ghana Armed Forces to commence an operation to remove all persons and logistics involved in mining from Ghana's water bodies. These persons are perpetuating an illegality. The President wants to enforce the law. Why do you say it's the wrong approach?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
What I'm saying is just when we understand the problem, that is when we can get a solution to the problem. It is a good approach to make sure that we deploy the military to try and clear this miscreant on our water bodies. But then, trust me, let's be candid here. These Ghanaians who are on our water bodies destroying it almost every day, they contribute, let's say, 5% on the water pollution. If you really want to tackle it head on, it's better we ban Chinese mining in this country. The Chinese are those ones who are destroying our water bodies. And it's something that we don't want to really, put our minds to. Because it's true, people are on our water bodies every day using this champagne to, trying to, mine gold on our various water bodies. That one, it is certified, we all know. But then the pollution comes with these Chinese who have brought in heavy machineries, and they are the ones polluting our water bodies. These people contribute, let's say, the Ghanaians who are on the water bodies contribute, let's say, 5%. So in so doing, why don't we implement a ban on all Chinese mining in this country, because I don't see anywhere in the constitution that allows Chinese to be mining or in this country. And
Right.
these are the people who directly wash their tailings into these water bodies. So we need to find solutions to the problem, because the approach is not only on people who are always on the water bodies, destroying the water bodies. What about other people who are washing their tailings into the water bodies? These are the people who are destroying the rivers in the last day.
Okay, so if I'm to understand you well, the point you're making is that we should police the people who mine on water bodies as well.
That is what I'm saying. But in so doing, if you want to get the needed results, then we need to ban the Chinese mining in this country.
Right. But all the same, you would agree that this is not the only move government has made. In fact, this is the second move we are seeing from government. Like Ken mentioned earlier, the Land and Natural Resources Minister put out a statement last week, giving those who are mining in forest reserves 7 days to pack out. This is the second move. The military is moving in on water body specific. What makes you think that beyond this, there will not be another move to crack down specifically on all foreign nationals who are involved in small-scale mining, which we know to be illegal?
Then we have to wait and see the new directive that will come. But then, as a matter of fact, using the military approach, let's say, is needed. But then at the end of the day, I don't know the duration they are going to be there in policing our water bodies, because most of the times their operations are done in the morning. During the night, there is no operations of that sort. So in so doing, if we really want to, get the needed results, that means they need to add night operations to as well. That is the only way that we can as well achieve whatever we are praying for.
Let me quickly go back to Ken before we wrap up the conversation. Now, Engineer, Michael does make a point saying that this cannot be the only thing we can do to flush out Galamsey, and that we must take a closer look at the foreign nationals involved. I'm speaking in context of the Aisha Wang situation, which you were very vocal about during this government's last administration. What is the expectation of your coalition when it comes to the involvement of foreign nationals in illegal mining and small-scale mining generally?
Yes, thank you very much. But Daniel, you see, one of the things that as the media, I'm urging all of us to do is that when it comes to this, we should say it's our coalition. In this particular fight, as journalists, it has to be advocacy, journalism that we take into this particular one and say that we're taking a position to say Ghana is more important for us. And another thing, I think that, yes, it's good to talk about foreigners, but we need to call the Chinese out. That predominantly the Chinese are, the significant factor in the degradation. And I think Michael makes a good point, that the fact that, yes, it's important to do the water police, the military on the water bodies, and we should ask the questions whether the night vision goggles, that the accoutrements that the military wanted to be able to work at night have been provided for them, so that they are not on the water bodies only during the day, but they are also in there at night. So that question has to be asked. And you also bring about one of the reasons why we failed and why we are where we are today. The fact that, typically when Aisha won the Nolly Prosequa that was filed, and we issued a petition to the Attorney General, and, she did not respond to that. And so we need to also see from the government that they are actually dealing with the threat of foreigners, but especially Chinese people, who are the reason for the EU now telling us that Ghana, very soon, Ghana's cocoa and Cote d'Ivoire's cocoa might be banned. But now we have seen the Chinese exporting cocoa to Belgium, and they are selling at premium than what we get. So it is important to tackle that head on. And it's going to be very important for the government to be very holistic in their dealing with this. So we've seen what has happened with, the prospecting, and it will be good for the journalists to be able to go back and ensure that 7 days notice that have been given, what is happening. People like Heritage Imperial, have they actually left the forest that they were there mining but not prospecting? All the other places, what is happening in there? We need to ensure that various Chinese people, various foreigners who are being arrested. What is happening to them? Are the prosecutions being done? Are they punished according to the Minerals and Mining Law as has been amended with severe punishment? Are all of those things being done? The MMIP, the mining multi-sectorial mining integrated project, that particular document, can we go back to it and look at it? Even the coalition, the interministerial committee overlived its purpose, but there were some things that they came up with. How have we implemented all of that? So we need to put all of these together to make sure that these are happening. But I would urge people like Michael and all of that to also to say that when we might have other solutions to it, but when they are part of the solutions, let's support those ones and also add, the other parts that we want. So I hope that the government will be listening to people like Michael and his team to take suggestions from them so that together we will be able to nip this in the bud. We should realize that where we are as a country now, we are definitely at a point of inflection that we might be going down a slope that we cannot recover from. And it is very true that Michael says that majority of the pollution that is happening from our water bodies is happening from people who are using heavy duty equipment to do mining and wash their tailings into these water bodies. What is going to happen to these people?
Right.
How do we ensure that we can pull those people back?
Right.
And so that we can start cleaning up our water?
Thank you so much, Engineer Ken Ashigbe, for joining us. We'll also say a big thank you to Michael Pepra. He heads the Association of Concerned Small-Scale Miners.